Welcome, guys. I'm going to let you guys come into the room. Got a few things going on today that I want to go over real quick with the Stay Alive at 5 gun news. And I am getting my stuff together and in order so that we can talk a little bit about some of the things happening. Gun rights are human rights. Gun rights are human rights. Again, letting you guys roll into the room. Stay Alive at 5 gun news. This is you want to call it basically a daily, hourly, daily hour, if I can. Usually I try to bang this out about 20 minutes to not waste a ton of your time, but just trying to keep this as a timely thing where we talk about quick gun news. I will still do, obviously, a lot of my normal videos. You will not see any kind of a change in that, a decline in that number. It'll stay the same. I just want to get this live stream out. First of all, I appreciate and like the amount of feedback that you guys provide, and I enjoy the interaction with you guys in the comment section and all that. So that's actually kind of a big deal for me, but I more importantly want to get the word out on gun news. Let's get right into it. One of the first things that I want to talk about, a little bit of news yesterday and today that took place. Colorado lawmakers reject the quote assault weapons ban while Washington ban heads to governor. We did talk about the Washington ban, knowing that it was going to head to the governor. It in fact is going there. Let me make sure that I am killing that music and getting the music out of there. We just wanted to do that as people came into the room. There we go. Okay, so Colorado lawmakers reject the quote assault weapons ban. I would like to point out first, before I get into the story, that we have one of my good friends, Ava Flanell, who was a firearms instructor in the state of Colorado, that did testify. I attempted to testify yesterday. Problem was the committee chair, who apparently is a Democrat, reserves the right to decide if out of state, which I'm in Louisiana, this is a Colorado bill, the committee chair gets to decide if out-of-state people can testify. They say you can, but the committee chair gets to decide if you actually get to. I sat in the queue for 3 hours and they never chose me, so I was not able to testify. So I feel bad about that. But my friend Ava over there in Colorado did a fine job. I saw her testimony earlier. Nice job, Ava, if you hear this. Colorado's Democratic majority has already sent several gun control bills to Governor Jared Polis for his signature, but a bid to ban the sale and manufacture of so-called assault weapons failed early Thursday morning as the House Judiciary Committee narrowly rejected Representative Eliza Epps' gun ban bill by a 6-7 vote. That's too close to the call. The defeat of the gun ban came after nearly 14 hours of testimony and attempts to make major modifications to the bill by Epps. They were trying to amend this thing at every single turn, who offered a pair of last-minute amendments stripping the assault weapons language and confining the legislation to a ban on bump stocks or rapid-fire trigger activators. Essentially, they were trying to get whatever they could get. Apparently, it's an election year for some people, and they're wanting to be able to bend that page down on any kind of bill that is anti-gun so that they can take it to their potential voters and say, look what I voted for. I voted for gun control. Because when you're willing to compromise and go from limiting honest law-abiding Americans in the state of Colorado from purchasing semi-automatic firearms to going all the way to the point that, all right, let's just ban bump stocks and rapid-fire trigger activators, that tells me you don't really care about any of the items. You just want something. That's all you're looking for. Well, it failed. And I think that the opportunity to sit there and mold and shape this bill to be whatever it could be in any kind of an anti-gun format was actually part of what saw its undoing, because people saw the exact same thing that I just described. They're like, wait a minute, you were willing to die on this hill for quote assault weapons, and now you're willing to bring it all the way back to something that technically is already banned by the federal government and rapid fire trigger activators. To continue, both failed on 6-7 votes, with 3 Democrats, Representative Lindsey Doherty, Saeed Charbini, and Mark Snyder joining the 4 Republicans on the committee in rejecting the changes. Interesting. Probably re-election for them as well. I'm slightly in shock right now, Epps said just before the final vote on the bill was taken and after her amendments failed. What a dumb. The Democrats who voted against advancing the bill were Sharbini Snyder and Representative Bob Marshall. Snyder has voted in favor of other gun control measures this session, said when he was campaigning, he told voters he wouldn't take guns away from law-abiding citizens. The bill, I believe, does that. Yeah, it does. We read it. So nice on you to actually realize that. On the other hand, some bad news from Washington, which we all knew this was going to happen, but it is now official. Sadly, that's not stopping Democrats in Washington state from barreling down that dead-end road. On Thursday, the state legislature gave its final approval for a semi-auto ban, one that will take effect immediately after Governor Jay Inslee puts pen to paper. This will happen likely tomorrow and will go into effect immediately. Note that they say, and I don't know if you can see my highlight here, semi-auto ban. This is not a, quote, assault weapons ban. This is a full-blown semi-auto ban. This is no small thing. And folks need to be concerned with this kind of stuff. So pay particular attention to the language on that. The Washington law would cover more than 50 gun models, including AR-15s, AK-47s, and similar style rifles. Now, keep in mind, when they say 50 gun models, there might be 300 manufacturers making all 50 of those gun models, or one of those gun models. 300 gun manufacturers making one of those 50 gun models. So don't let them fool you by that low number of 50 gun models. That's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of guns, which fire one bullet per trigger pull, automatically reload for a subsequent shot. The bill bans their future sale, distribution, manufacture, and importation, although some exemptions are included for sales to law enforcement agencies and the military in Washington, because, of course, only law enforcement and military can be trusted with these types of guns, right? During the debate on the Washington state bill, Democrats spoke of frequent mass shootings that have killed people in churches, nightclubs, grocery stores, and schools. A lot of this is gang-related. A lot of these people are lying, and a lot of them are their own voters doing this, not honest law-abiding gun owners. They are marching in the streets. They're asking for us to take action. No, they're not. There's not one single person marching in the street asking you to remove their constitutional rights. Not one. I've never seen a person with a sign that said, please take my rights from me. This is a lie. This is an outright lie. So Washington is going to be going down that road. And unfortunately, nothing is going to be done about that. I do think, as they state here, some of the sheriffs are simply not going to enforce this overreach and this horrible, horrible unconstitutional law. I would expect, as with anything else, several lawsuits will be filed once Inslee signs these bills into law. So look for that. On a similar note, let me pull this one up also. 1 second, please. All right. This is House Joint Resolution 44. I put a video out on this resolution early this morning. This is HJ Resolution 44, providing for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8 of Title 5, United States Code of the rules submitted by the ATF relating to factoring criteria for firearms with attached stabilizing braces. What this is essentially an attempt to upend the stabilizing brace rule. That really is a quasi-law that they cannot pass. They're simply changing the wording of existing laws, and that means implementing new laws. If there are going to be any kind of new penalties that are attached to a change in a ruling, then that is a new law. I don't care how you want to parse those words and make that sound. The ATF is hanging on the very fact that they're saying, well, wait a minute, we're not implementing a new law. It's just a rule change. Again, I have to repeat this. If your rule change now implements a brand new set of penalties for anybody breaking that new rule change, that's a new law. That is not a rule change. It sets in motion a new law. So the ATF is lying once again. Nobody trusts them anyway. So, I mean, they're the day after? Is this the day after? Yeah, it's the day after they torched a bunch of men, women, and children in Waco. It's their anniversary. They probably celebrated quietly at their headquarters, by the way. But nevertheless, this actually passed their committee, and it's now going to be spoken on the House floor. We'll have to go to the Senate, of course. I don't look for anything to happen on this, just like I said in my video from earlier today. But nevertheless, this is something that is worth mentioning because, as I stated in my video, this is a step in the right direction as far as momentum. It shows that we have momentum in this country. We also have brewing. There's a number of things that are working in our favor. Unfortunately, This doesn't go anywhere, but it certainly sends a message that things are happening. And that's all I can really say on that. Again, not a ton of good news right there, but at least it's a positive thing and not more bad news. I want to talk a little bit more about this story. I've been talking pretty at length about this, and I put a video out again about this yesterday. Now a fifth arrest. Yesterday I had a video that had two brothers. Then right after that, there was a third arrest and a fourth arrest. Now a fifth arrest is made in the birthday party of that shooting in Alabama. These are the four people that were killed. Let me read this article. A fifth man was arrested Thursday and charged with murder in connection with a shooting at a Sweet 16 birthday party. Oh, gosh, I just clicked off of it. Sorry. That killed four people in Alabama. Willie George Brown, 19, of Auburn, is charged with 4 counts of reckless murder. The Alabama law enforcement agency said a total of 5 defendants are now facing reckless murder charges in connection to the fatal shooting. Let me get down here. I want to see if there's anything. And this is the first I've seen of this story, so I'm trying to see if there's anything else. District attorney said that teens will be tried as adults as required by Alabama law when anyone 16 or older is charged with murder. Did not know that about Alabama law. Wow. The shooting was a 16th mass killing. If you listen to mainstream media, which this is NPR, I'm shocked NPR isn't running with the same misinformation. Mainstream media is saying this was the 160th. They're saying this was the 16th. Maybe it's a typo for them. I'm being facetious. Is there more on that? No, there's not. So essentially, it looks like they have 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 20-year-old, 20-year-old. So we have 3 20-year-olds, a 16. No, I'm sorry. 16, 17, 19, and 2 20-year-olds that are arrested for this. So here we go again. As I stated in my previous video on this, another gang shooting. I know that hurts feelings, but it's another gang shooting, and deal with it. Another bit of good news, because I would like to keep the glass half full, if at all possible, is this. Have a look-see. Nebraska legislature passes constitutional carry. Kind of knew this would happen, but it's worth mentioning. The Nebraska legislature passed LB 77, the constitutional carry bill, which Senator Tom Brewer has been diligently working to pass for years, as most states have. The bill has to be signed by Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen, who is a Republican, to become law. Governor Pillen has promised he will sign the law. LB 77 incorporates a number of features to make constitutional carry in the state of Nebraska a reality. One provision has been a sticking point in getting the bill passed. The bill strengthens the Nebraska preemption statute, awesome thing there, and eliminates the Omaha and Lincoln requirements to register handguns in those cities. That's pretty awesome. More specifically, notwithstanding the provisions of any home rule charter, counties, cities, and villages shall not have the power to regulate the ownership, possession, storage, transportation, sale, or transfer of firearms or other weapons except as expressly by provided state law, or B, require registration of firearms or other weapons. So this bill is stripping that. There were restrictions already in place in those two cities, and this bill said that cannot happen. Any county, city, or village ordinance, permit, or regulation in violation of subsection 2 of this section is declared to be null and void. So any bill or municipality tries to pass, or a county tries to pass in the state of Nebraska, will be null and void. That's the way it should be. More states need to do it like this. I would like to see some copying and pasting of this bill, because this is a well-written bill. Also says concealed handgun means a handgun that is entirely obscured from view. If any part of the handgun is capable of being seen or observed by any person, it is not a concealed handgun. While Nebraska's legislatures are normally nonpartisan, Ballotpedia shows how they line up as Democrats or Republicans. There are 32 Republicans and 17 Democrats, as 33 votes are necessary to overcome the 3 closure votes. Republicans had to recruit 1 nonpartisan Democrat to obtain the necessary 33 votes. All 32 Republicans voted for closure on final reading, which was the critical vote for constitutional carry. Senator Mike McDonald of District 5, Omaha, voted for closure, adding the critical Democrat vote for LB 77. My guess is he is in a purple area, and he needed this in order to stay reelected. Remember, these people are only voting like this because they want to get reelected. They don't care about your Second Amendment rights. This is simply to keep their jobs. Senator Brewer has had constitutional carry as a high priority since being elected in 2017. Senator Brewer is reported as saying Governor Pillen will sign the bill in a ceremony on April 26th. Nice. That will be next week. Next week at this time, Wednesday. Brewer, who visited Pillen after LB 77's passes, said the governor plans to sign the bill into law in a 2 p.m. Central Standard Time ceremony, April 26th, in the state capitol's Warner Chamber. That's awesome. It's all been good for them. The constitutional carry club members are now, sad to say that I'm not part of this. I'm not part of Louisiana. Louisiana is not in here, but Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Florida has permitless concealed carry. I'm glad they carved Florida out of this, because I've been arguing this point, and Florida was dancing up and down saying, we have constitutional carry. And I've continuously said they don't have open carry, so it ain't constitutional carry. And I'm glad this was Ammo Land that did this article. Yes, it was Ammo Land. So thanks to Ammo Land and Dean Weingarten for making sure that they point Florida out for not having constitutional carry, as they try to say that they have. It's a fake constitutional carry, as long as it doesn't include open carry. And I'm not an open carry advocate, but I also believe in everyone should be able to carry however they want to. If you want to open carry, that's your thing, and you should be able to do it. Florida does not allow that, so that is not constitutional carry and should not be called that. That is a lie whenever they call it that. So thanks to Ammo Land for pointing that out. I really appreciate that, and a little bit of truth never hurt anybody. I'm going to go to the comment section now, guys. That is pretty much it for me today. I'm going to leave my friends at Ammo Land up here so you can see some of the stories. This is where I pull a lot of my stories from. Ammo Land does a fabulous job of putting good stories out there. So I want you to see that's where I get a lot of the stories that I pull out. And Bearing Arms is a pretty good spot too. Let's go to the comment section. If you got any comments, I'll take them for the next, let's say, 5 minutes. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy, Big Dre. Big Dre, good to see you, buddy. It was good to see you at the gathering in South Carolina. Always good to run into you, my brother. If you ever want me on one of your live streams, just hit me up. I think I gave you my card. If I didn't, shoot me an email at paul@legallyarmedamerica.com, and we'll get on that. You know how to reach me. We'll get on that live stream. Always good to see you, Big Dre, and I appreciate you contributing to the channel. Thank you, my friend. Definitely, JJ Rainey, pleasure is all mine to put these updates here. I know I talk fast when I do these, but it's because I'm trying to get through this and not waste all of your time. So I want you guys to know that you guys mean a lot to me, and I try, if I can, not to waste your time, because I know I'm long-winded. Man, Creation, Paul, fantastic addition to your already fantastic channel. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Means a lot that you guys appreciate this. I'm just trying to do this to make sure we get enough of the news out there as we can, because not enough of it gets out there. Tim says, I don't think it's a coincidence they are protecting criminals while trying to disarm their victims. Absolutely. I mean, we are the ones they're trying to disarm. They want to let all these criminals out on the street. It's something that they want to control. This way they can control the narrative. They know that honest, law-abiding Americans are not the ones committing crimes. Without crimes and murder taking place, there is no agenda to limit guns. In other words, if you locked every criminal up, there would be no more murders. There would be no more shootings. There would be no gang shootings if you locked every criminal up. So what would happen? The gun control, more specifically, the control of these people would go away, because they wouldn't have anything to hang their hat on. But by letting people go back out on the street as quickly as they can with zero or no or very little jail or prison time, it keeps these numbers going, because, hello, it's the criminals who are shooting people. So that way it furthers their gun control agenda by continually doing that. And that's the only reason why they do that. Do not let them lie to you whenever they say we are looking out for public safety. That is an outright lie. I will tell them that's a lie. Some of these people will not talk to me because I've told them that I truly believe they are okay with people dying on the street, innocent people dying, because it allows them to continue pushing gun control, and that offends them. But their efforts and the things they do prove that. I'm not making this up. They show me with their actions that that's what's happening. Guys, I need to get out of here. I have a lot to do. I have a child to feed. and I'm going to go feed him. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm not sure if I'm doing this tomorrow. I probably will, but I'm not 100% sure, because get this, I might be getting some boiled crawfish down in South Louisiana. And I gotta tell you guys this: if crawfish are on the menu, it's a priority. So guys, I will see you all hopefully tomorrow at 5. If not, I know I'm going to have videos out tomorrow. I know I'm going to have videos out Saturday and Sunday. Hope you guys have an absolutely great Thursday evening. Be safe. Be careful out there. Watch your back. A lot of crazy people out there. And I want to see you guys back here next time. So be careful and be safe, guys. We'll talk to you soon.